Okay, the pieces you will need for page 1 are as follows. Piece A is 11 by 8¼ inches, so you're just trimming off a 1/4 inch from one side. Your B pieces, you need 2 of them, and they measure 7 1/8 inches by 5. Your C piece is 7 1/8 by 5½. You'll need 2 D pieces, and they are 2½ inches wide by 8 1/8 inches long. Your E piece is 8 by 11. F is 5 by 7 5/8 inches. And your last piece, G, is 5 by 7 1/8 inch. Okay, so get those cut and we'll get our scoreboard. Piece A. Okay, piece A is that like high maintenance. I was gonna say that it's one of those high maintenance ladies that's like in heels all the time, and you know, with I was just about to describe myself. Anyway, there's a lot going on with piece A, so stay with me here. Okay, so we're going to begin by scoring piece A. We're going to start it on the 11-inch side. So 11 is at the top. We are going to score it at 2½ inches and at 8½ inches. Okay, so 2½ and 8½. And now we are going to rotate the cardstock a 1/4 turn. So now it is on the 8¼ inch side. Okay, and then we're going to score at 1/2 and 7 3/4. But we're only going to go as far as the first score line. So 1/2 down to that first score line, 7 3/4 down to that first score line. Okay, with me so far? Okay, now we're going to flip the piece over. So it is still where you had it. Those 1/2 inch little tiny score lines that you just did are still where they were on the scoreboard, just flipped over. And now we are going to continue them down the rest of the way. So just kind of lightly go like that. There we go. Now make sure you're on the 1/2 and go the rest of the way down. Now we're doing this because this piece is folding in a bunch of different ways, and we're going to cut a little bit of it out. Like I said, it's high maintenance. So you've got, holding it up like this, you've got mountain and a mountain. And then these 2 top little bits will be mountains, and then these here and here are showing the valley. Okay, everyone see that? Okay, and that's it for the A. So you did it. I'm proud of you. You got this. Trust me, it took me a little while to figure out how to properly score that one. That one took me a couple tries. And you'll see what it does in a little bit. Okay, your 2 B pieces. We are going to score them at 1/2 on the 5-inch side. These 2 are easy peasy. Okay, there's 1 B piece, 2nd B piece, 1/2 on the 5-inch side. Your piece C is 1/2 on the 5½ inch side. So basically the same thing. Okay, there's your C. Your D pieces are going to be scored. Put them in on the 8-inch side, or 8 1/8, and we're going to score them at 1/2 and 7 5/8. So 5/8 is 1 tick past 7.5. So you've got a 1/2 inch on either side. That's why this piece is 8 1/8, so that there's a 1/2 inch on either side. Okay, and do that to the other D piece. So 1/2 and 7 5/8 on the 8 1/8 side. And then your E piece is going to be scored at 5.5 on the 11 inch side, so right down the center. That's it for that one. And your F piece will be scored at 1/2 on the 7 5/8 inch side, like that. And G doesn't need to be scored. Okay, so that is all of our scoring. Put your scoreboard, oh, keep your bone folder out because we'll need that again very soon. And now we are going to add our score tape to all of the 1/2 inch sections. So there's no score lines on G, nothing needs to be done with it. Score tape, right, there you are. Okay, so on the valley side, remember, leaving a space between the score line and the score tape itself. Okay, E, no score tape required because there are no 1/2 inch sections that need it. And the D's just have these 2 little bits on the ends. Perfect. Your C and B pieces are really simple, just the one score line that needs score tape. Okay, I'm going to leave A aside for just a second because it needs some extra love. Of course it does. A little high maintenance piece. And I'm going to miter the corners of the rest of them. Where are my scissors? So this is here. This is a better example showing you why we miter the corners. So see how you can kind of like see just the edge of that, and it just, when you cut it off at an angle, then you don't get that. See what I mean? So it's just a little thing, and if you forget at any point to miter something, it's not a big deal, but it does it's just all the little things that add up to make it super, super pretty. Okay, so just going at an angle from the edge of the paper. And the angle doesn't really matter, you're just cutting a little bit off. There's no exact measurement for what angle it has to be. You can go just a little bit, or you can go, like that. Like, it's not, as long as a little tiny bit is at an angle. I might actually do this one just a little bit more. Okay. Again, nothing with E and F, and then again, nothing with G. Okay, so we're going to set these aside now and get these out of the way. Bye-bye biddies, and your A piece. Okay, so we are going to remove the center 1/2 inch sections of A. Okay, so those where the X's are, we're just going to straight up remove those bits. There's one. So it looks like that now. Get those out of the way. And now we are going to add score tape to the valley side of each section. So you're going to have score tape on both sides of the A piece. So there and there. Flip it over and over here as well. Okay, so like that. And now we are going to miter the corners of each of those. And I put the score tape on before mitering the corners so that the score tape is right up to the very, very edge of where you need adhesive. And that way every part of this is getting glued down to something. You don't have any space where there's no adhesive. Okay, and that is your A section. Alright, so now we are going to take our bone folder and crease every one of these 1/2 inch score lines. Okay, and this is going to fold up like that. And then these ones go back like that. And okay. So you want to remove the two pieces of score tape from the bottom of your piece and fold them up so that they create a pocket, and just leave the rest of it for now. And then the rest of your pieces all need to be folded. Okay, so here's your B piece. I'm going to get these kind of back in order again. There's your C. And your D pieces. And E. And the last score line. Fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to grab our first base page. These Tyvek covered sections are on the left hand side. Our first step is going to be to put a strip of score tape along the very bottom of your base page. Okay, because we are going to adhere A to the bottom down here. This is your A piece. You've got your pocket here, and your side pieces still have adhesive up here. And this strip that you've just done, just put on the bottom of the base page, that's going to be the bottom of this pocket. This is going to be a pocket as well, but it needs a stopper right now. So basically, you want to hold it like this, and you're just going to fold it up. Okay, so when you open this, this is going to be a pocket, and the very bottom will be that piece of score tape that you've just put down, and then you've got your other pocket down here. Okay, so take the backing off your two sides as well as the piece at the bottom of your base page. Okay, and so this is what it looks like. Can you see here? So we've got this is how you want it, like that, and then just kind of flip this up. So this is going at the bottom of the base page. Oh, your perfect timing, Zuri. Thank you for your help. You're so helpful. No, you can't sit right on it, buddy. Come on. Oh, you're so helpful. I know you're so helpful. Should we add Zuri? If you have a beautiful cat, add that to the materials list. They're so helpful. I have two very helpful kitties. So now you have a pocket right here, and then you've got your other pocket right there. Okay, I'm just going to remove a kitty and then we will continue. Come here, buddy. My other cat's in here as well. You just can't see him. He's being good. He's the older boy. Alright, so keep this piece in the open position like this, and now we are going to adhere your first B piece. So take one of your B pieces and it is going to adhere onto A to close over this pocket. There we go. So it's going to go right up here so that it closes over this pocket. Okay, so right, and you want to make sure that it's not right on the fold. You want this to be able to still fold properly, so make sure that there's just a tiny space between where it folds and where that adheres. Okay, so now looks like that. Okay, your second B piece is going to go onto the bottom of the first one that you just put down. So there's your first B piece. Your second B piece is going to go right at the bottom of the first so that it flips down. Okay, so this is your first A piece, or first B piece, and your second B piece flips down like that. Okay? If you find that this does not fold up as nicely as you would like with this second B piece attached, you can always cut off just a tiny smidge off that second B piece, like literally not even 1/8 of an inch, and that will ensure that it flips up perfectly. If you get it lined up exactly, you shouldn't have a problem, but if you do end up that it's not folding out, it's kind of catching and not folding nicely, then you can cut just a tiny smidge. I was just saying that he's the good boy and he doesn't come up here, and now he's up here. Come on. Oh, handsome boy. Handsome boy. This is Tundra. They look, him and his brother look exactly the same, but... Okay, come on, buddy. There you go. Good boy. Alright, your C piece is going to adhere to the very top of your base page. Buddy, you are not helping. Hi. Hi, I love you. Yes, you're a good boy, but right now Mommy doesn't need any help. Come on. Okay, so I just took a little break and gave the cat some cuddles, so hopefully they'll let me work for a little while. Okay, so your C piece is at the top of your base page. You've got A down here with a pocket and another pocket. You've got your first B there, second B there. Okay, hopefully you got all that. Now we're going to put on our D belly bands. So take the score tape backing off one of the D pieces, and we are going to adhere it right at the bottom of the C piece. Okay, so there it is right there at the bottom of the C. Okay, and now the second one, we're putting it so that it meets when, so you close up the A section, and then when you close down the CD section, that's where you want this belly band to go. You want them to meet up in the middle. Okay, so lift up A, and we are going to be putting this on the front side. Lift up C, that's what I'm trying to say, and this is going to go on the front side of A. So it's about an inch down, and your goal is to make sure that the C piece can still close, and then these two belly bands kind of meet in the center. Okay. You can even like take a pen or pencil or something and make just a tiny mark there, and that way you know where the top of this has to go. Okay, so that they meet up like that. And so your E piece is going to be the insert that's going to go in these two belly bands. So when they meet up, there's that one, and then it goes in this one as well. So it's going through two, it's going to go through two belly bands. And so when the E insert is in place, you can't open the page. It's kind of like a locking mechanism for the page, and we're going to add magnets in a little bit so that this stays in place. But we need to add our last couple pieces first. So for your F and your G piece, they are just going to adhere together. Okay, so just adhere those together so that they look like that. And now we are going to adhere this FG piece onto the front of C, so onto the belly band of C. Okay, so we're just going to add score tape just to the belly band. So this, the first D piece is going to get covered in score tape, so I'm going to do that now. Probably a little overkill on the score tape. You probably don't need quite that much, but okay. So we want it to open to the left, so adhere it so that it opens, the fold is on the left hand side. Okay, so now you've got a piece that does that, and then this whole part will lift up. And then you've got your other belly band down here, and this goes down, and you've got your two B pieces down here. Okay, so that is that, and now we're going to add magnets to keep everything closed. So to add a magnet, we're going to do the E-piece first. So we are going to put 2 little pieces of score tape, one on the top and one on the bottom of the back of your E-piece. Okay, you want at least a ½ inch all the way around, because when we put our patterned paper on, you want to make sure that the pattern paper is going to completely cover the magnet. Okay, and then we are going to take 2 magnets. There's 2 of them. It's really hard to see, but 2 of them stuck together, like magnetized together, and put those on top of the score tape. Do it again for that other bit up here. Add more score tape to the top of that. So think of the magnets as the filling of a sandwich and the score tape is the bread. So we're making a little magnet sandwich here. And now remove that. Okay, and now we are going to put this carefully through both of the belly bands. And when you get it exactly centered, you're going to push down on the 2 places that have magnets, and now you have 2 magnets adhered there and the corresponding magnets on this. So now when you put it through, it will stay in place. Okay, and now we'll add magnets to the rest of the things. I'm just gonna, there we go. They really want snuggles right now. They're not happy that Mama's in her studio. Okay, so we are also going to add magnets from F to G. So 1 piece of score tape, 2 magnets, another piece of score tape. Oh, you are determined, aren't you, Tundra? And now you're going to eat my tools. And then just close it. And now you've got 1 magnet on F and 1 magnet on G. And then we are also going to, buddy, come on. Come on. Okay, and then we want magnets to close. Open this, take this out, and then open this up. And we are going to add magnets closing the second B piece to the first B piece. Okay, so we'll add 2 magnets to this second B piece and a little bit more score tape. Okay, so that's the B to B, and then you want the back of B to the pocket of A. Score tape, 2 magnets, score tape, and close. Then this whole piece, this A-B piece to the base page, so from back here, oh, I'm out of frame, sorry. From this A pocket to the base page. Okay, so from there, make sure that C piece is open to the base page. Okay, and then from the back of this FG piece down to the second belly band. I'm actually going to put 2 on this one because that's the main closure for the page, so I'm going to put 2 on that. My goodness, Tundra, you are so determined. Usually it's your brother who is so determined. Alright, you can just stay there. If you're just gonna chill, then we're okay. They're very, they're both of my cats are rescue cats, so I've had them since they were much younger than 8 weeks. Zuri was only 2 days old when I got them. They're bottle babies. I had to bottle feed them and everything. So they're very, very dependent on mama. They think I actually am mama. They didn't have a, well, they had a cat mama, but in both cases something happened to the mom right away. So they were just babies when I got them. Alright, so this is what your first page should now look like. So I'm going to give these darlings some cuddles, and then we'll come back and I will decorate the page. Okay, so I've got some of the pattern paper on already, and I'll put the rest on with you. So for anyone unfamiliar with making these albums, to mat something, you literally just take you measure what it is you want to mat, and then just cut it slightly smaller. I like to have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around of the black showing. So you would just take whatever the measurement is and cut your piece of paper 1/4 inch shorter and 1/4 inch, like both lengthwise and widthwise, 1/4 inch smaller. And that's all there is to it. I also just realized that I forgot in the materials list ink and a blender tool. So this is a completely optional thing. You don't have to. It's just something I like to do, but you don't have to do it. I go around all of my papers just like that and ink the edges. It is not something that is completely necessary, but it's something that I like to do. Simply because I don't like the look of the white edge of the paper. So it's not, it has no bearing on the construction of the album. It is completely just aesthetics and a personal choice. So okay, now, so when you're putting pieces of paper, say in pockets or in somewhere like this where it's going underneath something, you want to make sure that you work with it to get it underneath before it adheres. This is a really tight fit and it's not wanting to go through without adhering to the bottom. There we go. Okay. Oh no, don't stick yet. Now you can stick down. So there we go. So the first page I'm going all with like blues and pinks. Okay. So this is actually goes on top, and let's open this up. So I don't show in the videos me putting on every piece of paper because I feel like that would be rather boring, and it takes a lot of time. And I also like to encourage you to do your own thing. I mean, you can feel free to you know, you can pause the video whenever you need and see exactly what I'm doing and what piece of paper I'm putting where. But I don't want you to feel like you have to do it the way I'm doing it. You can do whatever color scheme you want, use whatever patterned paper you want. Once you've constructed the pages, the decorating of it is completely personal. Like, that's the fun part. So do whatever you like. But if you are following exactly what I'm doing, then it's all pink and blue for the beginning. And this particular sheet of pink paper here is an extra that I had in my stash. This is the pink paper that comes in the patterns and solids. This is the part that goes, the insert, so just on the outside of that. And then now for this top one, it is going behind the belly band, but you want to make sure that it doesn't go, because you can't see the bottom of where you're putting it. So you kind of have to make sure it's not going over, make sure you cut it correctly. Okay, so that's good. So that is the front section. Alright, now we will move on to this back part. So another thing that I like to do is, say, you know, I have this section that I want to cover, and I like to use my scraps as much as possible. And I didn't have a piece that completely covered it, so you can use two different pieces. You can kind of paper piece is what it's called, like using multiple pieces of paper to cover one area. So you can also do that, and it looks quite cool. Like, I really like the look of it. So there's that option as well. Oh, apologies if my head gets in the way. It's a little bit too far to one side, but we'll deal with it. Okay, and then down here, this blue is also another extra solid colored cardstock that I used. You do have enough paper to not have to use any extra like extra paper that isn't from the kids, the collections. I just, oops, oh, can I still get it up? It's just a little bit too high there, I didn't like that. Okay, that's better. Okay, and then this one here. I tend to add all of my tags, etc., into the pockets afterwards. Feel free to do that now as well. Make sure you have, just make sure you have enough patterned paper to still have, you know, paper left for the tags. And one last thing, when you're going in a pocket, make sure you have at least, I would say, like 3/4 of an inch inside the pocket. Like, don't stop the paper right at the edge of the pocket. You want it to go in at least a little bit. Okay, so I'll just show you the rest of it here. So, okay, so up here we've got the blue, pink, and the patterned. And then this is the pocket here. Down here we've got the striped again, and then when you lift that down, it's pink, and then one of the ephemera cards and some paper piecing. Okay, and then that closes, and then this is the... Alright, so that is page 1. Yay!